uh, the bill at the doctor, the
Go ahead.
the bill at the doctor was $250. You know how much insurance paid? Uh, I think 20. And then I paid 20
That's
as a
opposite.
copayment.
That's I was gonna say that's opposite because that sounds like the copay. $20 is the copay, not the insurance payment.
Well, the insurance only paid like $23 or something. I paid my copay when I went there. Then I got billed for another $203. So what the $203 plus my $20 copay plus the insurance paid the rest of the 250. So
Okay,
and then
was that under the active job or is that post active job?
no, this is under the active job. And then they say the insurance said, well, you have a deductible that you have to pay first of $225 or something like that. And it's like deductible, I'm paying every month, twice a month, every paycheck I pay. What do you mean deductible? Why do I have to pay $225 deductible every year when you guys are supposed to be paying because I'm paying every month? You know, that's what I know it's a scam. It's the same thing with you wreck your car and they want you to pay. Well, my deductible is $250 for my car insurance, but you can get lesser insurance if your deductible goes up. That's
Right.
ridiculous.
The monthly payment usually will drop if you have the higher the deductible.
Deductible. Yeah, it's a scam, is what it is, because the insurance companies are the richest companies on the planet. And then they do everything in their power to they do everything in their power not to pay when something happens. Have you seen that in uh you know those lawyer commercials on TV where this
Oh
guy
yeah, yeah,
walks up
yeah.
to a guy
Yeah.
laying there on the ground, he says he says what's wrong? And the guy goes, I just got hit by a car, and he's laying there and his motorcycle's laying on him. And the insurance guy goes, oh, well, you happen to be in luck. Here's this check. And he pulls out this tiny little check that's only about this big. And then the lawyer steps up, don't take that check, you know? And it's like, it's really sad. You go years and years and years and you pay and pay and pay and pay. And then you get in one bad accident and they don't want to pay you, or they're trying to not pay you or do anything so they can keep the money. The insurance companies own most of these high rise buildings that are in every major city, metropolitan city. If you get right down to it, the insurance company owns most of that stuff. They are the richest companies on this planet, you know, and that's why you have the elites like Warren Buffett owns Geico, and Progressive is owned by that liberal guy. I forget who he is,
I like
but
the progressive commercials.
yeah, yeah, and I'm sure they spend a lot of money on the commercials and everything to make them
Flo makes good
entertaining.
money, right? Flo is with Progressive. She makes good money. That's
Yes,
she makes a good living at that.
yeah,
I imagine now Jake from State Farm is making a pretty decent living too. The new Jake, not the one before
not the
that
old
didn't.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, he didn't
not
get
the
to really
white
be
guy.
in he didn't really get to be in too many commercials, but
No,
the new one, the young guy, he's in lots of stuff.
yeah.
So they make
Well,
bank. I got to
they
figure out how to get into commercials.
Yeah, that Verizon guy, he made millions, and he has his own production company. And now I understand that Flo has her own production companies who makes the commercial and sells it
Oh, I don't know.
to
I haven't heard any of that, but the Verizon guy
Progressive.
actually did flip to Sprint for a little while.
Yeah, yeah. Well, people were done with Can You Hear Me Now, you know?
Well, because
But
they had stopped using him, right, for a while, and
yeah,
then some years later he flipped over and started doing Sprint commercials. And then he would say, "And can you hear me now?"
yeah, yeah. But Flo makes a ton of money. She doesn't have to work probably the rest of her life because of making those commercials. But and I'm sure they're paying big money for those, and those actors that are like Flo, that's like a regular. I've seen her in movies and stuff like that. Flo
Yeah, I
and
think
in
she's done
series.
some movies and some TV shows. Yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh. And so I have seen her in some of those, but she certainly didn't make the money there. Her money that she's living large on now is coming from making all those Flow commercials because they get paid every time the
Well, what's
commercial's
his
on.
face? Remember Jim Varney used to be that way. He was the guy
Yeah,
that
Vern,
yeah, Vern.
Vern.
And
And do you remember when we were kids?
he used to do in our state, he used to do like the milk commercials or something, but in other states he did the exact same character, but he was hawking some different product. So he would do like banks and stuff like that.
Yeah, Vern.
Hey
And you
Vern.
know that another guy that made a lot of money was, do you remember when we were kids, Joey Suzu?
Uh, uh Barely. I kind of remember the name, but I don't remember specifically what he used to do, but I remember a little bit.
He was doing commercials for Isuzu, Isuzu cars and trucks, and he did all those commercials when back in the 70s, I think. Joey Suzu. And he did a lot back then. I don't know if he made a lot of money, not like they make them now, but he did that. But
Well, come
the
up with a
going back to the
character,
point,
come up with a character and start hawking that character and see if you can make some bank.
yeah, but back at that, the point is the insurance companies, and you're forced to have insurance, and so it's a scam, and the only people that are getting paid are the big shots. They're getting paid big time money for the insurance. You think Obama is not getting paid because of his Obamacare? The insurance companies are shelling out big money to him for the Obamacare.
I don't know how that would work. So you would have to prove to me that I mean I don't understand how, because he can't take a direct check. So how is he getting money? And he's not even in politics really
You've
anymore.
heard,
So how would he get money? Would he is he on the board of some insurance company? I've not
yeah,
heard.
yeah.
He
He's
is? What's
I don't
insurance
know if
company?
he is. I don't know if he is, but in order for him, and he probably doesn't get the direct money. I'm sure he doesn't. It's all his henchmen that get paid. Those people, they have 15 different layers of protection. You know, they're getting paid. How do you think that uh you go into politics not having any money, and then you come out of politics and you're worth 200-300 million dollars
Well,
10
they
years
write a
later?
book. They write a book and then their book sells.
You know what, you're giving them credit where there shouldn't be credit due. You're trying to
They all
just
write books. They probably don't write the book themselves, but they all write books. Nowadays though, they might narrate their own books because a lot of people listen to audiobooks, and
yeah.
nowadays it's the actual person reading their own audiobook, which by the way, Neil Patrick Harris and who's the all right guy?
Matthew Conaughey,
Yeah, him.
McConaughey, or whatever.
they both narrate a really good book. They read their books really well. And but anyway, yeah, they all
But
write books, so they make bank that, and then they get speaker fees, and their speaker fees, depending on who they are, could be anywhere from a few thousand to hundreds of thousands just to show up and make a speech.
yeah, but what you're doing is you're basically saying that politicians are not crooked.
I'm
They
not
do
saying that.
everything by the
I just
book.
don't know how they would get the money.
Well, that's because we're normal people. And we don't we go to work and we make our salaries or whatever we're doing and we're making just enough to get by. We're not in the crookedness of how you get money for doing nothing. We get money by going out and doing something. We're actually doing something for it. You have to be in the know or have people that work for you in the know of how you can make hundreds of millions of dollars sitting around all day, or doing nothing or going to speak. That you know what, honestly, uh uh I can't think of any reason why I would be interested in anything that any politician says, other than to blast them for it. Because they're all lying, cheating sacks of shit. All of them. I mean, every single one of them, but there's some that are less cheating than others. You know, in my opinion, there are some that actually will actually do something for somebody. You know, the little guy. They'll actually do something for the little guy, or you know, make humanity better because of something that they're doing, not make a certain class of citizen better, or a certain group of people better, or, you know, the UAW people that make $60 an hour, you know, make them more money so that those people think, oh yeah, you know what, I work for, you know, I'm on an assembly line at you know, General Motors, and I get $60 an hour. You know, great, but you're still on the assembly line. That guy that helped you, that politician that helped you get $60 an hour, he's making you know, probably $10,000 an hour. And he didn't do anything except for talk to a few people, and you guys did most of it by walking out, and they can't make money when there's nothing being produced. You know, but they're going to sit there and say, well, this politician's the best one because it helped me. Well, Barack Obama, Mr. Politician, put the nail in my coffin on my business because of the Barack Obamacare. You know, he really ruined my business by taxing it. An extra 10% I had to pay in taxes, and a lot of people had to pay in taxes in my industry that I worked in. And you know, that's not a justifiable tax what they did. They were thinking they were taking from the rich to give to the poor, but in the meantime, they bypassed the cosmetic surgery industry that's rich, and they took a small industry full of mom and pops, and then they taxed the crap out of them and to pay for the poor people's insurance that they had to have. And if you didn't have health insurance in California, and you know this, then you paid extra on your state taxes and federal taxes. See? So that's the problem, is because these insurance companies are getting them to say, well, insurance, you have to have it. You have to, it's required. If you wake up in the morning and you live that day, you have to have insurance on that day, and you have to pay for insurance. So that's why insurance companies are so rich, because they've got it, the market cornered. It's monopolized. You have to pay for insurance. And, you know, there's only a handful of people that own all the insurance companies on this planet. And there's none of you and I. No, it's the same elites over and over and over again that own several insurance companies.
Aren't the insurance companies public entities, like where they buy and sell stock in them?
I
Where they have to pay attention to their shareholders, even though the rich people own all the shares.
Yeah, yeah, their shareholders are all elites. And there might be one guy that owns 100 shares of Progressive, but there could, a lot of them might be traded on the market. Yeah, on the public market, but a lot of insurance companies are franchised too, like State Farm. You've got your mother company, and then you got your little franchised insurance dealers that you know, hit the turf in every city and every state. And they own the little part of the entity because they're franchised. It's like McDonald's. And they have to pay their franchise fees to mother company for being able to put their name on the pole out front that says Allstate or State Farm, or you know, all those other smaller insurance
What's the
companies.
one that Shaq promotes? The General.
The General, yeah, General Insurance. And then you got that one funny guy that does Allstate, you know, Mayhem. You know,
Oh yeah,
you've
that's
seen the
right.
Mayhem guy, yeah. He's on his way to making
Well,
you know,
he's an
a ton
actor.
of
He
money.
was an actor before.
Well,
He was, if you know who he was in a HBO series a long time ago, but
yeah, and he's still,
he was also in John Wick, the first John
yep.
Wick movie.
Yeah, I saw him in John Wick. I've seen him in other movies, and I still see him in other movies. But he's still making bank, playing Mayhem. That's probably what's
Right.
feeding
Right.
him. You know, all his little bit parts that he plays. He probably gets a few $1,000s for those, but he's probably making the majority of his share on being Mayhem. You know, riding a tricycle down the middle of the street while people are honking at him. You know that. So, but yeah,
All
the
right.
insurance companies can afford it. They can afford to do all of this stuff because they're the richest companies on the planet.
All right. Are they the richest? We'll find out when anybody comments, if anybody comments.
Yeah, well, you people be kind and generous. That's what it's all about. That's what we all wake up in the morning for, is to be kind and generous, okay?
All right. Oh, wait.